Testing. Testing. I have once again messed up the thing. So give me a second. I'm going to put it on charge. I don't know. It just dies over time. It's like you get a full charge and then it's dead 24 hours later. All right. Give me a sec. I'll be like 10 to 15. And we are alive. Okay? We are live and we are alive. Welcome. And we're talking about very important stuff, very important things. We're talking about life. It's a very important thing. I don't know if you've noticed, but it is incredibly important and finite. Finite. And often we feel in life an urgency to do things of value, to do things of importance, perhaps to rise in the economic class, in the social class, or should I be fancy and mix those together and say socio-economic class? Uh, Whatever. A personal sense of achievement, feeling like we've done something to make the people around us feel proud of us, or perhaps just the ego of having done something, regardless of your inclination. I would argue, I would suggest that you do it for good purposes. But regardless, it's important and it's finite, and there is a way to do things, and there is a surefire way, and it's the basic way that you can do anything in life, and that's simply, simply, simply opening doors, right? And there's other metaphors to this, but that's the one I'm going with today. Um, Oftentimes, you know, you may call it one step at a time, but I don't like that metaphor. It's like, how do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. Because quite often, it's not the steps that are difficult. Um, when it comes to climbing a mountain, um, steps are easy. And, maybe 20,000 steps in, you know, your ankle hurts, or perhaps you get a sprain, a blister, something like that. That is when things get difficult. And, the first door is getting the equipment ready and doing the research. You know, doors they don't happen in like one single increments. They happen in like bumps, right? You open a door and there's a room. And there's so much you can do in this room, but there's only so much you can do in this room. And so if you want to be able to do more than what is available in this room, you take the other door. You go through the next door, right? I think the the thumbnail presents the visual quite well. You open a door, and then there is another door. And the beautiful thing about life is that if you remain unsatisfied, there will always be another door. And here's the thing, um, even if you remain unsatisfied, there will always be another door. You just don't want to open it. You've had enough of opening doors. Perhaps you're tired. Perhaps you just feel content, and you don't think that the effort of trying to open another door, to solve another problem, to have another room where you can do more things, is really that beneficial to you. And so you stop opening doors, right? And I dislike the metaphor of um, climbing a mountain one step at a time, because each step is not that easy. You only do one step at a time when you know the path, right? You know which way is up the mountain, and you know which route to take. And so, therefore, it is one step at a time. The path is already laid out to you. So for me, that metaphor really only works when it's a pre laid out plan, right? It's laid out to you. So, it's not like you'll get to step 2000 and you'll be unprepared for a sprain, because someone would have said that if you are prone to injury, you may get a sprain at the 20,000th step. And so be prepared with this equipment and this equipment, and this can help you. No. Um, I prefer the idea that you're going up this mountain and you have no idea how to get there. And which is why I prefer opening doors. And I like this. And I thought of this today. This is the thought process. Every single problem is its own realm, right? You may get stuck at the 10,000th step for a few hours, a few days, because you don't know which way to go, and you're trying to figure it out. And perhaps you take this way, and then this way, and then in an attempt to find the next 1,000 steps, you've spent 10,000 steps. And that's how it happens. That's the way it is. And problems are difficult. Problems are not about going one step at a time. Problems are about being creative. How do you get that door open? And oftentimes in life, I feel like this skill is not talked about enough. It's not allowed to develop enough. And and I think that is equal faults problem. Like, I think it's equal faults to upbringing and social media and the internet, and all of these things keep you kind of focused on doing things one step at a time on a preset plan. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with following in someone else's direction. But here's the gambit. Although there's nothing wrong with following someone else's footsteps, the ability to forge your own path is something that develops you as a person, as someone that solves problems, as someone who can be confident in their own thinking, like no other, right? And many times I've had these moments in life where there's a problem, and you know um, the first instinct is, what does the internet say? And that's a great place to start. It can be, because why waste hours finding out something, or days or weeks or years finding out something someone has already found out? Issue is, um, we don't much go beyond that, and that's a problem. And a problem occurs, and you look for guidance. It's like a programmer will have a bit of code that they can't do, so they go online, and they find the answer, and then they push the code, and boom, okay, they're getting paid. That's their job. And next week it's the same thing, and it's the same thing, and it's the same thing, and sure, that pays the bills, but does that develop you as a person? Now, granted, um, one may not care about their job, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there is no point to focus in any other realm of thinking, any other realm of problem solving, right? You may hate your job, but there is something you're interested in. There's always something. Everybody's got a thing. So just first step, find your thing. Which door do you want to open? Everybody's got one door that they want to open. Let's say you're in a corridor full of doors, and you have to pick one, right? And so you pick one, and then you go into that direction. And some of the doors may be similar, but the paths can be quite radically different. And then you have to open that door. And that first door is free to open for most people. Just having an interest in something and choosing to go in that direction. And then the problems start. Okay, you're doing this thing. Where's the knowledge? How much can you learn for free? Do you have time because you're for your job? Or do you have dependents? Things like that. Each thing is a door, and each situation for a person is unique. So there's not always a way that someone will have, for you, that you can figure it out so easily. Because a lot of solutions out there are for broader audiences, broad to the point that no single answer or path is completely right for, or uniquely perfect for a single person, despite there may being varying levels of similarity, right? It, whether it's a course or a program, you may have similarity when it comes to age group, or proclivity, or intelligence level, but economic class, social standing, whatever. Those things can be similar, but down to the grain, it's never uniquely for a single person, and not really, good for a fully pre laid out plan for someone, right? And that's what I'm talking about. Nothing is ever so direct, and so it's important to build the skill of forging your own path, because no one else is going to do it for you, and because everybody's figuring out their own path, the one that they're going to figure out, it's going to be different to yours. And if you try to go down their path, you may get some success, but you won't get their success. And if you're smart, You may get more success, but success in terms of what is really entirely dependent on what you want. So you just open doors. You solve one problem, and then you solve another. That's from The Martian. Um, yeah, it's all about just solving problems. And, you know, there's been like some of my favorite moments in life have been when I've just been in a situation that was just perfect for me, and somehow my brain just came up with an answer. And and it was a perfect answer, and it was unique to my situation, and no one else could have figured it out the way I could have figured it out, because the perspective I had was the right one for that moment, for that situation. And sometimes it's a combination of luck and other factors, but just being a specific person in a specific moment is the key. And when that time arrives, where you become the key, a door opens, and that door can be anything. Um, and it can be a minute step forward, and it could be a giant step. Uh, Irrespective, it's random, because that's life. It's chaotic, uh, and all you have to do to get to where you would be content with not opening any more doors is just keep opening doors. And sometimes you have to wait a long time before you get to the next door. But you just have to know that eventually you become the key. That is the key. You become the person that's perfect for solving that problem in that moment. You know what I mean? Am I getting too high level? Like, am I being too vague? You know? Time under tension, I guess. You just open doors. You solve problems. You solve enough problems, and your ability to solve problems in that domain or in vaguely domains similar to others becomes much more valuable. And your own path is incredibly unique to yourself. And there may be people on a similar path, but we're all unique snowflakes. So everyone's life is a little bit different, and everyone's proclivity is a little bit different. Some are some have to rage. Some have more jolly attitudes. Some are more backstabby. Some are more this. Some are more that. It's people. It's just what people do. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, what's the title of the live again? Life is about opening one door at a time. Welcome to day 96, or I'm just yapping about life again. That's it. Obviously, work is still going. Things are happening. Ideas are flowing. Uh, got some good ideas, some great ideas, some ideas, but we'll figure out what they are once we open that door. And I just have a feeling that tomorrow is going to be an incredibly important day. Just a feeling. I have a feeling, an inkling, that perhaps tomorrow is going to be an important day. Just because of the things that are important for tomorrow. Things that need to be done, and kind of the things in the pipeline kind of coincide. Tomorrow is going to be an important day. A lot of things is going to get done tomorrow. A lot of things, should I say. And I'm excited to get in that. And in fact, I'm going to start tonight. I'm going to start right now. I mean, I've already started. I'm just going to tidy up what I've already done and do more, I guess. But yeah, just opening doors. That's all it is. You open doors, you get a little bit more, you get a little bit less, but something has been gained, whether it's time, experience, whatever. And then you open a door, and then maybe you get a lot, but something has been gained. And before you're comfortable with what you have, there's another door to open. You know, and one day, I recommend this. One day you have to be done opening doors, right? And then hopefully that day comes before your death. You know, but eventually, there is a goal to be had. Once you have that goal, it's like what, 20, 30 years, 40 years down the line, you've reached a goal, and that's it. And it's like no more doors. Is that smart? In terms of your career, maybe. But I've never been a fan of careers anyway. I don't, it's like, what is a career? What is a career? Like, I guess there's like a bit of a status thing that comes from it. Like you have a career, but of course, as a human being, I'm interested in status, but I'm not really interested in like traditional hierarchies. Is this starting to get a little funky? Maybe, but it's like I feel like the valuation of what's important and what should be classed as important is incredibly flawed, and I would argue that I would argue that there is more to economic class, uh, social class, whatever, all of that. There's more to it, and I feel like a lot of the times it lacks a certain level of authenticity, a lot of lack of authenticity, and it's unappealing. You know, what's real is real, and what's not is not. But there's a lot of structures in life, in business, and whatever that kind of are built upon notions of whether it's bureaucracy or politics, and it's like that experiment where 10 people are in a waiting room, and 9 of them are actors and one of them is the victim, let's call it, of the person being tested, whatever. And every minute there is a siren, and every time that siren goes off, um, the people in the waiting room, all 10 of them, all 9 of them, stand up for no reason. And you do that enough time, and the 10th person will just start standing up with everyone else. And then you start replacing the people in the room, and suddenly you have an all new group of 10 people, and they're all standing up for the sound. For what reason? No reason. Conformity. And just because others do things in a certain way, and we don't question that, systems kind of cement themselves in place that are not necessarily always the most effective, the most efficient, whatever. Which means, which means that no matter how robust uh, the world around you may seem, there is always another door to open. And, you know, you just got to walk in there and you got to open some doors. And sometimes solutions are perfect for the time. And then times change, uh, communication changes, technology changes, culture changes, everything changes. And then that perfect solution becomes imperfect. And so there is always, because of the nature of time, there is always an opportunity to become a key to change, which allows you to open a door for yourself of opportunity, of change, of experience, of economic growth for yourself. And I guess it's a matter of perspective. And if you look at life as something of an opportunity, then you begin seeing these doors. You begin seeing flaws in the world around you, and not just being kind of down about it, like, oh, everything sucks. I can't believe it. Bureaucracy, ah, you know? It's like, yeah, everything sucks, and I can fix it. And that's an opportunity for me to exchange value, gain something out of it, whether it's experience or money or whatever. Ideally, money, because inflation is awful, and we like money. We want to make money, and we wanna eat sushi. We want to eat good sushi. You know, we want the best. We want some. We at least once in our life, we want to try like amazing sushi that people can only dream of, and we want to do that by doing some crazy stuff for other people and solving some incredibly difficult doors and opening them. You know, because it's incredibly difficult to become a key for some very lucrative doors, but if you open enough doors uh, in that direction, perhaps you go into a different direction and open another door. Remember, it's an infinite possibilities of which direction you can take. So, you know, it's not always so, you know, like a straight and narrow path. And maybe it is. Okay, little pause there, but you know, my phone overheated, so I'm just going to quickly say goodbye. You get it. Infinite doors. Open your mind to the possibility. There's windows to clean. There's corporations of window cleaning to make. There's rivers to fish out of. There's SaaS products to make. Just look at something and walk in that direction. That's the way. And of course, we have 30 seconds, so I'm going to yap a little bit longer. But before you walk in that direction, remember the mantra: we are good people. We're good people. So, you know, be good, do good things, and subscribe, and good things will happen. And that's the end of the live. And I hope you enjoyed day 96. We are so close to the end. We are. Should I do something special for the last one? I don't know how. I'll think about it. I'll see you tomorrow.